Welcome to episode 73 of the Guardian 1 podcast. We record live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian 1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I'm joined by Crimson Warlock.
Hey, happy Thursday, everybody.
Jez.
Good morning.
Agrios.
Greetings, Guardians.
And Sharks.
All I wanted was a chocolate ghost.
We're going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first, housekeeping.
Hello, Guardians. Thank you all for listening to the podcast, however it is that you're choosing to listen. Be sure to follow Guardian 1 on Twitter at G1Net. That's G, the number 1, N-E-T. You can also take a look at the Guardian 1 website at guardian1.net. If you do a search on bungie.net for Guardian 1, you'll find our forums group, of which we'll also use for both comments and feedback. Once again, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian1Network every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. If you can't catch the show live, you can search Guardian 1 for the iTunes podcast, as well as go into the Guardian 1 YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian1Network. Guardian 1 is a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out their website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. There you'll find all of the different podcasts that's part of the network, including Aim Assist Gaming, TTL Party Chat, Robust Radio, Ghost and Echoes, as well as the flagship podcast Guardian Radio. Guardian Radio broadcasts every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. You can also follow their Twitter account at Guardians of D and their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Guardians of D. That's all I have for now. Moving on.
Alrighty, thank you, Hollow River. One quick announcement before we get going. Happy birthday to Guardian 1's very own Guardian Radio superstar, K-Dub. Very happy birthday wishes to you, buddy. I hope those Girl Scout cookies and martinis sit well on your stomach for the days that follow. Don't have high hopes for that, but good luck with that. So yes, happy birthday. Cool guy. So glad to have him in Guardian 1. It's really great to have him. He's a really fun guy, and he's really helpful, and he is so gung-ho about playing Destiny, and I love that. I love being around people who love Destiny. I love being around people who don't love Destiny. I love hearing their excuses for why they don't love it. Like, how could you not love it? Oh no, there's not enough content. Shut it. So let's get to something that I want to go over. Crimson Doubles. I had a lot of fun with Crimson Doubles. I thought that the 2 versus 2 game type was amazingly fun. And I played it with Agrios. I played it with Sharks. I played it with Flounder, and I played it with my 7-year-old. And at no point did I feel like I was overwhelmed by the other team. Certainly, there was times when we got stomped 4-1, and those times weren't. It wasn't every time, and it was over so quickly that it didn't feel like I wasn't at any point having a bad time. And even with Flounder, who plays very irregularly, we actually had a really great chance. And using my style of being the one who sits in the back and shoots at the people who are shooting at my friends, I couldn't have asked for a better out front person. Like they think that they're going to get the drop on her, and they didn't because I got the drop on them. While the other person's trying to run around the other side. Keep your distance. Don't let one grenade kill both of you. But also watch your friends back. I had a great time. I felt like it wasn't supported nearly as awesome as it could have been, though. I feel like the reward loot table should have been a little bit more forgiving. Like there definitely should have been more rewards. Like SRL might have had too many rewards. Like I don't want to say that because I don't want them to pull back on it. Because what's that?
I said nah.
Because I feel like I was just getting stuff maybe too often. But definitely in this last one, it was not enough. And what was crazy is while I was playing with Flounder, like I had 2 games where I didn't get killed once. Like I went totally unkilled. And in those 2 games, she got 2 chocolate ghosts, and I didn't get squat. I thought to myself, what the hell is this? Like what the hell is this? I did, however, get dropped a 319 chocolate ghost, so I'm really excited about that.
Ooh.
And so with that 320 coming, I have quite a few options in front of me. Oh no. Daniel Out is in the chat and he says, taking notes. There were too many rewards. Got it. Winky smiley face.
See, Rowdy.
I've done it now. But I wanna ask you guys and everyone in the chat, what did you think about Crimson Doubles? What was right about it and what was wrong about it? And why don't we start with you, Sharks?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see. So I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, I played a total of 144 matches. So obviously, they must have done something right as far as the game uh, system, everything. The buff was really cool. I got into quite a few sweaty matches, which a lot of people have. In fact, I've been listening around, and it's kind of been like that with a lot of people out there. Especially the people that enjoy going and doing trials and stuff. The people that play a lot more PvP, they, even though it could be very relaxed, the people that play PvP all the time don't want to just go out there and okay, let's jump off the side and kill ourselves. We want to actually participate. So because of that, it made it very entertaining as far as everybody wants to go out and win. There were some major drawbacks. Reward system. Everybody knows that the reward system, for whatever reason, was broken. I know that. I can't remember what dev it was that was talking about it, but they said that that it wasn't supposed to be happening the way it was because there were people out there that weren't getting any drops at all. And then there were people that were getting tons of drops. For instance, one of my partners got a dozen ghosts and deleted most of them. I got 2 ghosts, and both of them were the exact same kind. So that's kind of a messed up system. That's a bug somewhere, probably, hopefully, and maybe they can fix that. The other thing that was very disheartening about playing, which we talked a little bit about last week, was the suiciders, the Romeo and Julieters, as I like to call them. It really ruins the fun. But what can you do about it? Well, I mean, you can do the stuff that Agris and I like doing to people all the time. And I mean, it was entertaining for us. It kind of dragged on games sometimes, but if people were just going to jump off the side, we would jump off the side right after they did it. So it forced people to play. and that's just dumb on the people's part out there doing stuff like that. The other problem with it, like when Remy and I were playing, we had some people that were killing themselves, and Remy and I were like, forget that, we're gonna charge him, we're gonna kill him, and we stopped him a couple times, and then after the match, I got a really gnarly message from one of them, and he was like, what's your problem? You're ruining my kill death record, and I'm like, seriously?
Okay, wait. Shark just put that way later than it was. There is definitely some like unkind language in that.
Oh no, yeah, no, it was pretty gnarly. So people were getting uptight about people actually wanting to play. In this case, he actually apologized in the end because I sent him a message back, not a nasty message, and we kind of went back and forth for a little while, and he basically understood that there were people like me that want to go out there and they want to play PvP. It's not about a reward. It is about a reward, though, Daniel. I want my chocolate ghost. Okay, so
So Sharks, I figured out what happened to your chocolate ghost. You really probably got a couple of them, but the problem was you won them on the burning shrine, and by the time you got back to the tower, that stuff just melted.
yeah, you're fun.
Just flip a coin on
You
the
look at the picture
23rd.
I tweeted out with the show tweet tonight. Someone made an artist's interpretation of a ghost on the burning shrine melting. So
That's hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
funny. The Salt
No,
Queen
I-
says she didn't get any ghosts at all, and
No,
that is unfortunate.
That's horrible.
Oh,
But you know what? I think I do want to basically let everybody out there know that this was awesome. There are a lot of people that say, oh, there wasn't enough of it. In fact, the beginning of Crimson Days, they were like, oh, you mean Crimson Day because the bounties were done really fast. But I think enjoyment wise, it was great. I think this is heading in the right direction.
Definitely. And I'll tell you what, I don't think that anybody would have complained, or at least the complaints would have been, lowered by much more than 50% if the guaranteed 320 ghost after 7 actual completions of the game, if they had done that from the beginning, like here is Crimson Days, you complete 7 missions, you get this sweet emblem, you get this 320 ghost. I think that nobody would have been complaining, and with the addition that you could continue to get other things, like I got a Red Spectre out of it, and I was really excited about that, super excited about that. I've seen it around, want to play with it. Always thought that Red Death should have been a machine gun, an assault rifle rather. And so playing with one that is in that prototype stage is very exciting. But yeah, I feel like if I don't know, I guess the guaranteed ghost was a reaction to the fact that many people weren't getting very much rewards out of it. But I think that if they started with that, or even if you play 21 games, here is your guaranteed. I think that's important moving forward for Bungie. There needs to be something that you will get regardless of any actual additional loot. Like the emblem was cool. I was willing to play simply 7 games. I was willing to complete simply 7 games just for the emblem. Like the emblem looks cool. I want to add it to my collection. But I think having something guaranteed is definitely a step in that direction. Like even if it is put behind a rougher idea, like 7 games is nothing. Really.
Well, I mean, they do it in Iron Banner. You look at Iron Banner and you go. I mean, obviously, it was weird because you get rank 1 in Crimson Doubles, but there's no list for it saying, there's no actual ranking. But I mean, if they had a ranking system, you could easily do the exact same thing that they did in Iron Banner, and that's something to work for. You're going to get something good. And it would be even better if they said, oh, that something good was a 320 ghost or whatever, as opposed to random stuff. But, you're going to get something. So they've done that in the past already anyways.
Agrios, Crimson Doubles, fun. What's wrong? What's right?
Tons of fun. This was by far the most fun I've had in a PvP event since I first started playing Iron Banner back in the day, and I was excited for my power to matter for the first time. As excited as I was about that, I was that excited about there being a power doesn't matter public event that people would be getting into and working toward and things like that. I was really excited to pick up some of my old weapons or put on, not feel like I have to wear, the ideal pieces for my light level, but instead the ideal pieces for, reloading the primary that I have appropriately, or giving myself void or solar protection, or, buff defense for running that subclass, more appropriately, rather than just having to run my 310 armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed that aspect. This is the first time there's really been a public event like that where power doesn't matter. So I had a lot of fun picking up a lot of my old weapons that I haven't really seriously contended with in a while. And yeah, like I said, more fun than anything else before. Reward system, everybody knows there was a foo bar with that. Bungie admitted foo bar with that. They, made up for it. Great. I really think for how much fun I had with the event, I wish they would have made the event as a whole more elaborate, just given it more depth. Like you said, like Sharks mentioned, it notes that you hit a rank 1 at one point when you're playing, so obviously it's tracking some sort of thing. I think they could have went more elaborate with that. I saw people saying, why isn't there a spawn in a Flutter of Hearts special spawn animation item that you could get and stuff like that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, so I kind of wish there would have been more to it, I guess, would be my only real complaint, besides the loot being broken, but that was unintentional.
Totally, I can definitely see that. I wish I knew what they were hoping that the loot would look like. I played quite a few games. What would the system look like? Because I'm certain that it wasn't supposed to be 2 ghosts in a row or no ghosts at all. I wonder where the discrepancy is in there, and I
And
wonder.
I got so many things,
Well,
ridiculous amount of stuff.
the dev that I heard speaking on one of the podcasts, he was I think he was one of the leads for Crimson Doubles, if I remember right. They said that they didn't actually change the loot system. They didn't change it any different than what it was on SRL. But he said that he's heard people not getting any drops, and he wishes that the drops would be somewhere in between nothing and what it was for SRL. But I don't think that they didn't really tinker with the drop rate, it sounds like, according to him. So, it's been obviously the drop rates, what they imagine are somewhere in between everything that everybody normally gets in these events.
I mean, Sharks and I played almost identical matches, and what we each got was night and day difference. Like we literally played in the same matches as each other for most of our play time. Like both of us played very few of our Crimson Double matches with anybody else.
Right, Sharks took me out for a while, and that was really nice.
You and I.
Okay, Jez. Crimson Doubles, fun. What's right? What's wrong?
So yeah, it was actually kind of fun. However, I think there was a little bit too much strength on the armor regen when you were by yourself.
Yeah, continue.
It just seemed like people were getting their health back way too quickly for it being just a simple buff. But yeah, it was fairly balanced, and it led to a lot of fun matches. Which is not something I normally say against PvP, but yeah.
Right, I feel like because it was so few people that it was a lot more fun. Because I think like in a 6v6 game, it's really easy for 4 dudes to take out 4 of your dudes, and then that's it. It's 6 versus 2, and how are you ever going to overcome those odds? And it's just, what's that?
Does anyone recall? Did they say that the buff maxed all of your stats Is that what I recall? They said at some point that the buff maxed all of your stats. Is that correct?
It maxes your speed for reload, your agility, and armor, I think it was. So those were the stats that it was buffing.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. Crimson Warlock, sadly, you did not play any, and that sucks. What did it look like from the outside to you? Like, as someone who didn't get to play it, you didn't get to have any of the fun at all, and you didn't get the sad rewards. So what did you think about it, being a viewer from the outside?
So the footage and the games I saw, it did look fun, and I really was gearing up to do it. But the Martin Luther or the President's Day holiday kind of threw me off balance since I didn't work, and I thought it was like Saturday or I still had an extra day, and so Monday night I'm like, oh, I'll just play it tomorrow after I get home from work, but that turned out to be Tuesday. Um, so I missed it. But it looked like a lot of fun. It definitely was something I really wanted to play. But hearing the rewards, I'm glad I didn't participate and be one of those people that just would get nothing or fall victim to the, oh, I got this reward that I'm instantly dismantling because it's not worth anything to me at this time. So yeah, definitely hoping that with the next events that come up that loot's more relevant, but it definitely looked more fun. But I'm hoping we can also see some PvE events happening soon too, because all the events seem to just be PvP oriented.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, especially after I went to the Ishtar Collective, a website on the internet that has basically every kind of grimoire card laid out in a way that you can um, see what is connected to each other. It's a really great website, and they had a they had a description of how Crimson Days started, and it was about this warlock who got some kind of distress signal or found a signal, and they went to this planet. They didn't tell anybody else about it because they wanted to find whatever was there for themselves. And a hunter who also got this same reading, who also didn't tell anybody because they wanted to go down to this planet and get the glory. And so at first, they see each other and they start fighting, and they don't notice this entire horde of enemies coming from the coming to wipe them out, and then they are forced to fight side by side to survive. You know, they realize they can't fight each other anymore, and so they have to fight these enemies. And as soon as I read that, I thought, man, this would have made such a great firefight style game instead of 2 versus 2, which it doesn't sound like that has anything to do with the beginning of Crimson Days. 2 players versus waves after waves after waves of enemies. For those who played Halo, there was a game type called Firefight, which was you and 3 other people and just waves and waves and waves of enemies. And it was just so much fun. And it was, I hesitate to say mindless fun, because it definitely was not mindless. But I think what I'm trying to get at is that you weren't trying to secure any areas. You weren't trying to solve puzzles. You were trying to survive. There was a just a goal of survival, and I got that feeling from this description of Crimson Days, and I feel like that would have made a much better event for this, in terms of both, like you're saying, there's so many PvP related of these events, so many PvP ones. This would have made a really cool 2 versus all of these bad guys. But that's not to say that I didn't have fun, because I had a ton of fun. There was really something about you're the last two people on your team, they're the last two people on their team. I felt like the buff. I didn't feel like the buff was too much. Now that you're saying that, though, Jez, I did notice that last person on the other team was harder to kill, but it wasn't such a thing that came up that I started thinking to myself, "Oh, they're cheating." I just thought, man, I should have stayed on his ass longer. Like if I had
Well,
just ran
see,
around that rock.
I don't think I would have minded as much if they were like harder to kill, as in their health was going down slower compared to their health regenerating super fast, because it was like a couple seconds later and you're basically did nothing to them.
Totally,
Yeah, but
totally,
the
totally.
thing is on that is if the other team, like say you were the one with the buff, if the other team works together as a team and two shot you, you'll die just as quick as a normal person. In fact, you'll die super fast. So and I think that was the whole point. It was giving the person with the buff an opportunity to kind of compete. But if the other team is actually playing like a team, you're you're still going to have an issue because they're going to try to kick your butt if they're actually shooting you at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. After you took the one person down, to get the person at the buff, getting next to your partner and team shooting was definitely key to that. That's what me and Sharks would do. We would, if we kill one person, it was instant get together and
Rush.
steamroll the other guy. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's how it worked, because as long as they weren't able to regen their shields, as long as you were keeping a shot on them as quick as possible, it seemed like the buff didn't do anything, and that was really key. Once you downed one person, you found the other person as quick as possible.
Well, that's also why we saw such prevalent use of Thorn, because as long as they had the damage tick on them, they weren't regenerating. So not only did we have to get pistol kills for one of the bounties, but power didn't matter, and Thorn kept that tick going on somebody who had the buff, so they couldn't regenerate so quickly.
Yeah, I found two flavors of Guardian in Crimson Doubles using Thorn. Those who wielded its awesome power correctly, like Sharks. I saw Sharks killing a bunch of people with it, and then there was the people who I felt were hiding behind it. Like I felt like they were like, "Oh, well, I have Thorn. I'm invincible. I don't actually need skill." Because as much as it was still powerful, and I still did have to take cover for longer than I would have otherwise. I'm not afraid of it anymore. Thorn for the majority of year one is why I didn't play PvP. It was just there was no fun to be had. Everyone was using Thorn. If you were using Thorn, it was because you could finish that bounty. If you couldn't finish that bounty, which was like me in the beginning, I couldn't finish that bounty. I don't know what came over me. It was the end of year one, and I said, you know what? I have to get this. I have to get this before we head into year two. And it seemed really easy after that. But now, there's two kinds of Thorn users. There's the ones who are really good players and are using its awesome powers to defeat you, and those who are hiding behind it like scared little guardians.
And it kind of made me laugh because everybody at the beginning, even before Crimson Days started, everybody was saying how Thorn was going to be running rampant because it has been in PvP lately. But I personally found that people that were wielding auto rifles were killing me quicker than Thorn was, even though there was Thorn out there. My personal experience was that people that were wielding auto rifles is one of the few times I actually saw auto rifles kicking butt.
I saw quite a I saw quite a I saw quite a bit of balance as far as different weapon types were concerned. I saw. Last word was probably the bane of my existence. But in addition to that, the necrochasm. I saw quite a few people using necrochasm. Died to quite a few people from necrochasm, and thought, well, this is this is crazy. Um,
It's definitely the Crucible is definitely the most balanced it's been in a long time as far as power not mattering. We'll see what it's like in Iron Banner. It may change a little bit because everything handles differently. But as far as power not mattering, everything's really, really similar. I like it. I think it's great.
Okay, I would like to throw it to River now. First, though, I want to say expat in chat says, "Hope all is well, everyone. Looking forward to another 268 Ghost and Nightfalls next week." And I think that's funny. I got to run 2 Nightfalls with him this week, and one of those weeks, one of those times, 2 of us got a ghost, and the next time, 2 of us got strange coins. And I'm still a fan of strange coins. I will gladly accept 19 strange coins as a reward. Especially versus like a 268 ghost. That's going to turn into 3 marks for me as where I can really hoard coins. So River, welcome to the podcast.
Yo!
We are talking about Crimson Days, and I would like to know, or Crimson Doubles, fun. What's wrong? What's right?
Well, I didn't really get to play too much since it was kind of my off week. So yes, it was fun. What couple of things that probably could be better. You know what? I'm not really. No. How about I just kind of describe my experience?
Hit it.
Well, yeah, all right. So when I was hitting up PlayStation, no, I was hitting up Xbox, and man, it was tough for me to find somebody to go on a date with me. That's so weird. But it was like everybody was doing something already, and I really didn't have anybody to play Crimson Doubles with at first. So I hopped over to the PlayStation side, kind of getting stuff set up over there. And then Artistic 33 shows up. He's like, "Hey man, let's go play some doubles." I'm like, "Heck yeah!" I knew I could count on PlayStation with more people,
Yeah,
So friggin', we sat some fools down. That was a lot of fun because Artistic's a great guy, man, and
totally.
it was
helpful.
pretty, yeah, super helpful,
Super
man.
helpful and super badass. Like he is really good.
So we were sitting fools down and we were having a good time. It was pretty sweaty sometimes, but I didn't sweat it too much because I mean I had Artistic there, so we were having a great time. That was like day one, and then I just kind of I couldn't hop back on until Monday, and that's when SDF Lomboy actually finally got the TTK. He's back in the game now. So me and him sat some fools down. No, I take it back. So me and him we went to Crimson Doubles, and you know how you got to do what is it, 7 matches to complete that bounty? No, that quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost all 7.
Oh wow.
It was rough. It was completely, and we were getting destroyed. I don't even understand what was going on. Yeah, I mean, might have been Lomboy's friggin' gear, since he just hopped back into it. But man, we got sat down pretty hard. It was rough. But
that's crazy. I played with my girl and my 7-year-old, and we only lost 2 matches.
But I mean, it was Monday night, so maybe everybody who wanted to get their stuff had already got their stuff. I heard you guys talking about RNJs, just hopping off the freaking side and being done with it. And so everybody who was left just really liked Crimson Doubles, have already been playing it for a long time now and gotten used to how things were going. So things were just pretty rough after that. After that, we started winning more consistently. I mean, we won our first match after that, and we pretty much got almost every single bounty right after that, except for, what was the weekly one? What was that different colored one? I forget what that was.
They were all weekly. They were all.
Oh yeah, that's
well,
right.
no, one had
Different
weekly,
colored one was
the one
or had Nightfall of Rewards.
Yeah, it gave you an emote and crap, right?
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you had to get points. 3 points from a win, 1 point from a loss.
Okay, yeah, we didn't play enough matches for that. I mean, we what was it? We were at 3 wins left, so we had like 9 points left, and we were out. Man, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning Central Time, almost, and I was like, man, let's just keep on going. I didn't realize that it was going to reset there at the top of the hour, so we were like, yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get some more wins, and we got our first win after that, but then it did the reset and Crimson Doubles wasn't available anymore. So we're like, oh man, we just needed 2 more wins and we could have got that too.
You know what? On
yeah.
that note, I really enjoy getting emotes, as a reward. Like I would not even mind getting an emote as a reward from a Nightfall. Like those things cost silver,
Yeah.
and as much as I want to buy emotes, I just can't do it because there's no way to use more than one. And
Yet.
the formal bow is my jam. Like I love the formal bow. Like if I'm going to interact with a person in Destiny, other than waving or dancing, it's going to be bowing to them. Like I don't want to, like, oh, you're dead meat or
Hmm.
safe, like I would definitely buy other ones. One of the ones I got was congrats, and I really liked that one. But because there was no way for me to use that
Hmm.
at the same time, like I've only bought the bow, so getting those other emotes is really cool. Like that's
Hmm.
200 silver, 400 silver total between the two systems. I did not have to spend.
Right.
I think that's really cool. It doesn't
That
help my game at all, but it's something
I'm
cool.
thoroughly happy with my purchase of the Boo emote. I can't possibly equip another emote than the Boo emote. I use it in Crucible every time, every match I win.
I have to say some of those emotes are really awesome, and I have bought some. But during Crimson Days, my most favorite emote was the free emote that they gave us, and that was the no. Because I used that when people were jumping off the sides, and I would say no, and then I would jump off the side too.
That's
That was
funny.
pretty brilliant. That was pretty brilliant. I heard that on the last podcast about what you guys did about the RNJs just jumping stuff off and how to counteract that. That was pretty awesome.
River,
Yeah.
after that I ended up getting to play some with sharks, and we ran into this one guy. Like he was trying to keep his KD high, and so he kept trying to jump off, but it's really easy to shoot somebody when they're just trying to run past you. Like
Yeah.
it was timekeeper, and we were on the cliff side, so they kept trying to run past us. And so it's like, I don't know, like a ducks in one of those shooting galleries. And this one time they took out sharks, and I ran over there, and I slid in and shot this guy down. And he tried. Like, it was crazy because we forced him to have to play this game with us, the game that we are supposed to be playing. And
Yes.
Sharks got this crazy nasty letter, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer that he's so rude about this. And I figured we were just going to move on. Sharks wrote him back, and then he wrote back again saying like, oh well, it's Bungie's fault because they don't give us good stuff. We just want to get our rewards and get out. Like, I don't want to spend my time trying to play this game if I'm just going to get nothing anyways. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe that's it. And Sharks wrote back again, and then the guy wrote back, and his tone was changing ever so slightly. And the next one, he was like, that last one, he was like, oh, they're forcing us to do this, and also I'm better than you.
Oh.
And it's like, well, we can't tell that now because, well, number one, we beat you, and number two, you were just trying to kill yourself. And so he wrote him back again.
And that's what I wrote too. I basically said, at least I'm willing to show my skill, whether it's good or bad. I'm showing my skill. You're not showing any skill at all. You're just cheesing for a reward.
Yeah, buddy.
And so I wrote him because because it was a voice message, and Sharks played them for me, and I felt like I felt like this is one of those dudes that you meet who doesn't want to do anybody harm, but it's his at the end of his rope. And so I wrote to him. I wrote to him. I was like, hey man, Sharks and I, we know that the drop rate is crazy low, and
Hmm.
I understand totally why you're doing this. But thanks for not being a total turd. And then he wrote me back saying like, like here's what I've become. I've become that creep on the internet who's rude to random people for no good reason. And it was really cool. Like, it was a really interesting interaction with somebody, because of this. Um, but yeah, so continue, River.
Oh, well, some of the things that could be fixed. Uh, Jeez. You know, I think probably the biggest thing about Crimson Doubles is that the maps might be a little bit too big for 2-on-2. I feel like um, that maybe there was just a little bit too much space going on with some of the maps. Maybe a little bit smaller ones might have done better for Crimson Doubles. That's my own
I
personal
like they
opinion.
added like cat and mouse aspect of that though. Like, I know some people don't like that, and they get bothered when you have to roam around a map too much. But some of my favorite war games in the past that I've actually yearned for, like lately, like you could actually plow, go around the battlefield for a little while before you even encountered somebody. So I kind of appreciated the return of that personally.
I understand. Let's see. Some of the good things. I do like the fact they chose elimination because it's pretty trialsy, and trials is probably one of the best game types in the game, anyways. But I mean, I didn't really think about it prior to this conversation, so you may have to ask me again some other time.
Right. Well, you can just bring it up, in 3 months when you're on the show again. I'm certain that it will come to you by then.
Man,
What did you guys think about map rotation? I thought the map rotation was actually pretty good compared to how some of the PvP playlists that we've played in the past have been really bad. I thought overall it was a lot better than it has been with some of the other stuff.
well, think about
personally.
it. How often would you get the same map 3 times in a row?
Previously?
Yeah,
I,
previously.
I don't know, but I got the same team 3 times in a row during Crimson Doubles, which was a pain in the butt.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
that's an oddity. That happened to us more than once. Sharks and I definitely played the same people more than one time in a row, multiple different days.
It also happened when Guru Fu and I were playing too, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, it was people that were trying to kill themselves. It's just like,
Aw.
yeah, that kind of sucked. But map rotation I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, map rotation was definitely good.
I thought it was pretty solid. I mean, previously I felt like you would get the same map at least, well, more than you should. I mean, 3 times in a row was not unheard of, or maybe even 4 times. From my experience, and I didn't really play as many days as you guys did. I think we probably hit the same map twice in a row, and then we would move on to some other maps, and probably would never see that map again for a few hours. So map rotation was definitely what I would expect, and not too annoying in my mind.
Mystic Rose asks what the emote was a reward for. There was a separately colored bounty from Shax. Then it was meant to give like a Nightfall tiered reward, and
Well,
It was the gun,
the no
wasn't it?
emote was all given with a yes emote in the kiosk with like no notice. It
Yeah,
was just there.
Right,
I would-
that too.
yeah. So that's where you get them. You got to go to the kiosk. It was not only for Crimson Days. It was just go get it right now.
But
And I
yeah, there
think
was
that's
also
awesome.
an emote reward for some reason.
Right. I dig it. Okay, so last thoughts on Crimson Days, and we will move on.
I ain't got nothing.
Okay, I'll give my thought.
There you go.
Can't wait for Valentine's Day next year.
Yeah, you think they'll do another Crimson Devils?
Well, I think they'll do something along that lines because a lot of people liked it.
And it'll
Frankly,
give
I
them
hope
about a
we'd see
year.
doubles again before. Yeah, I hope they don't wait a whole year to do doubles again because I rather enjoyed it.
You know what? This Crimson Doubles has made me hungry for Trials. Like I really like Trials is 3 versus 3. Like that's super similar. And
Until you're down 2 people, then it's not the same at all.
Here's what I think is the main difference between the Crimson Doubles game type and all other game types, in particular Trials, for example. It seems close. In Crimson Doubles, you're either in one location as a team, or if you're split up flanking, you're alone. Whereas in Trials, you can have a team of 1 and a team of 2. And if both sides do that, you're just as likely to encounter the team of 2 as you are as to counter the team as 1 when you're by yourself, if you're the guy by yourself flanking. I think that dynamic being removed, the fact that either you're going to meet up as a team or meet up alone, and you know which it is based on how you're going to play either with your partner or split up, changes that a lot.
That makes sense.
yeah, I could see that.
I think I'm disappointed there was no cinnamon heart flavored ghost with flames coming off of it.
Maybe next year, man.
Flames would have been a nice touch on the Crimson Shell.
Put it in the feedback forums.
I think
Well,
that's
there's a
they're
sparkly
going to
one.
save it. I think they're going to save the flame ghost for something else.
Isn't the crimson Ghost, the one that's got sparkles coming off of it.
Speaking of flaming things, I'm sad I never found the flaming Thunderlord. I was looking
So
forward
yes,
to that.
James.
The Flaming Thunderlord.
The Fire Lord and the
Oh yeah.
Void Lord.
Mm-hmm.
In the TTK trailer, you can see the flaming Thunderlord type gun quite prevalently. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty clear.
True story.
Wow. I guess I missed that.
No, you talked about it.
Did I?
Yeah.
I guess I
You're
blocked it
just
out of my
forgetting about it now.
right. I can't handle not having it,
I can't
so
handle it.
I've just
I can't
blocked it
handle
out.
it.
Cool. Excellent. I really wanted quickly to touch on a subject that I was thinking about. That I would just like your guys' real quick opinion. I was thinking about mini games, specifically for when you walk up to something, like you walk up to something and you're hacking it, or your ghost is hacking it. I've really been thinking this is a perfect opportunity for something like Mass Effect has this thing where it's like press this combination of buttons, and I really keep coming back to it. Like some of the things that I end up talking about on the show here are things that I forget about and then think about again and then think, I should bring that up in the show, and then I forget about, and then I'm playing the game and I think about it again, and this is something that's come back a couple of times. Um, River, what do you think about mini games in Destiny period for anything at all? What do you think about that?
I really don't like the idea of mini games right now. Hi, babies. Come back to me, okay?
Crimson Warlock, what do you think about mini games? Either for trying to hack a war stat, like you one person of your team needs to be paying attention to this, and so you kind of need to defend them instead of just throwing your ghost out there and that's it. Like it's something that I've come back to a couple of times. What do you think?
To me, it just that doesn't fit Destiny. Like anything that takes you away from the gunplay, I think would detract from what Destiny is as a game, as a genre of MMO shooter. And it might be fun, but at the same time, I think after a while, if there's rewards tied to success and then negative effects tied to failure, then it's just probably going to lead to frustration if you're in a semi stressful situation. Which I get it. I've played Mass Effect. I enjoy that stuff a lot too, but I feel like it would detract from the themes of Destiny, and it wouldn't feel like that is Destiny. I mean, maybe they could introduce it in Destiny 2, and it'd feel a part of it. But as Destiny is right now, I don't think that would feel like Destiny to me if there was a mini game of that sort in it.
You know,
I'm
I
glad there's no racing or anything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, I get what you're saying. And before Destiny was released, everybody was talking about, oh, I hope to fly a spaceship. And by everybody, I mean me. I really want to fly spaceships in Destiny. And so, like the official line was that Destiny was a boots on the ground first person shooter. But yeah, like and this has really come up after SRL. It's been something like I want more than just a shooter. Like I absolutely accept that Destiny is a first person shooter and that's where its strength is and that's the core of this. But yeah, after SRL, I have wanted to in Destiny just exist in another way other than just a first person shooter. Like it's awesome and the first person shooter mechanics are top notch. Just untouchable as far as I'm concerned. Never played a better shooter, not going to play a better shooter. Everything is so smooth, everything is so put together. And after SRL, like I really loved stretching my legs in this universe. I was playing Destiny that wasn't something that was a first person shooter. And so now when I come up to those things, I think, man, I'd really like to input a code or something. So I totally get what you're saying. And it makes a lot of sense. Jez, what do you think about mini games? Is it something that you would like to see at all? Because I know some people don't like that additional stress of having to input it right. But what if there was no negative consequence? What if it was just trace this line or something similar to that? What do you think about mini games?
Well, they've fit in a couple in different places that you didn't really realize it. Like the unlocking of all those things for the big, oh geez, I can't even think of the name of the gun.
Oh,
Uh,
Black Spindle.
no, not
no,
Black Spindle.
the super
Sleeper
satellite.
Simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
For
back.
satellite.
Yeah, the super satellite. I knew it was an
Yes, the
SS.
super satellite gun. But yeah, like there was a slight mini game there. I think if they can fit it within the world and it makes sense, then sure, go ahead. If it's just like, oh, you can go over here and play Whack-A-Vandal, it's completely immersion breaking.
Hey, do not knock Whack-A-Vandal, okay? I would play Whack-A-Vandal. You're talking about in the tower, right?
Or just
Okay,
anywhere, like some weird game that makes no sense to the the current game.
man, Whack-A-Vandal sounds great. Thanks a lot, Jez. I know that we've talked about like a larger mini game, kind of like a Contra, a 2D side-scrolling Destiny, or like a Gradius, some kind of like flying a ship, like some kind of 16-bit or 8-bit thing. But yeah, I just trying to get some thoughts out. River, you said you were back. What do you think about mini games slash um, instead of just walking up to the war stat and throwing out your ghost? Crimson Warlock brings up that this is a first person shooter, and that taking away from that is it's not good for it. But if they could fit something in, then he wouldn't be totally opposed to it. What do you think?
I'm kind of with Crimson and Jazz on this one. I
Cons-
don't really, I don't really think. I guess if you could do it, like Jez was saying, if you could do it that in a way that's kind of like keeps you in the game and not break takes you out of it, like the war set example, I don't like that. I think your ghost has to freaking do that crap while protect your ghost, the thing we've been doing since freaking 2014 now. Uh, and anything else like that, I would if there was another mini game such as taking your ship and doing um, some sort of space battle or something, that'd be really cool. But
Okay, so something on par with SRL, where it's not you're going from first person shooting to this other mechanic, you're actually just doing this other mechanic, is what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe some sort of different playlist like that, something at a bigger scale than that, rather than uh, like unlocking doors or I don't know, something kind of crappy like that. I don't think that kind of stuff has a place in this game.
got it. Agrios?
I'm all for mini games as long as as long as they're not immersion breaking. I kind of go along with Jez for the most part on his answer there. Um, I would I like I like anything that makes a game more dynamic. I like anything that makes a game change things up, make things more interesting. I like figuring out things. Um, I would totally be down for some games have lock picking, completing circuits, things like that. Like I would love to see, a complicated version of that even on the more in-depth strikes where the two other guardians actually have to guard one of the guardians while they're completing said puzzle or something like that. I would love to see more different things like that. But like I said, it can't be immersion breaking. It can't be goofy unless it's in the tower, and then I'm all for Whack a Vandal or whatever. Because why wouldn't you build a Whack a Vandal machine and put it in the lounge in the tower? That I would do that. If I were Guardian there, I would build the Whack a Vandal machine for the lounge. It would happen. So
You guys keep bringing up something that makes me think of something. When they say guard your ghost as it unlocks it, you don't have to do shit. You just have to be not near it because
Right.
everything goes at you.
Well,
there's no
right,
there's no guarding.
you can just be standing right next to it and nothing attacks it. Like you're not actually guarding it at all. Like I remember when I came across that first mission where it said guard your ghost, and I thought, oh great, this mechanic. I'm so tired of guarding AI, especially stupid AI. It's something that in games is so frustrating. Like why are you running out there? And so that was a bummer. But then I noticed that nothing was actually attacking it. So yeah, so that is a bummer, Jez. I tell you what, though, I'm glad that you brought up that sleeper simulant because that quest was excellent. I loved every step of the quest to get sleeper simulant, especially the mini game doing those little the binary. That was super cool. Figuring out what step to go next on that pentagram shape. What if what if you got a special engram, and depending on how the mini game worked out for you, it could be rare or legendary or exotic? Because what if you had to take it back to the tower and played a mini game with Raul? That would be crazy, right?
I mean, it might be better if like you had a rare engram that you could upgrade to a legendary rather than oh, this could be either or depending on how well you do.
Uh-huh.
Because you already did the work to get it. It should be more of a hey, do you know the trick to getting this to be better?
Oh, it's like we're going backwards.
Yeah,
Legendary engrams decrypting to rare.
yeah, pretty much.
Man, I want to play Whack a Vandal. Thanks, Jez. Sharks, what do you think about mini games in general, and in this game specifically? Would it ruin it for you?
Well, I mean, it depends on how they're implementing them. I can see pros and cons on both of them. Just where you use your ghost to open doors to do a game there, I don't know. I think that would get old really, really fast.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I can kind of see, if they did quests where you're doing something and you have to help your ghost do something. Like when I say this kind of it reminds me of when Agrios and I were doing heists in Grand Theft Auto.
That's
You would
exactly
go
what I
in,
thought.
yeah, you would go in and you would try to hack something while the other players driving along, and get into something to get to a point. I could see them doing that. Helping your ghost try to hack into this because the ghost says I can't get in there by myself. But I the problem I see with having lots of mini games, especially if it's single mini games for people, is that Bungie has been saying since the beginning that this is a co-op game. You're good doing this with, you want to do a raid, you have to have 5 friends. And you suddenly start putting in all these mini games that you're playing by yourself. That kind of takes away from you playing with other people. Which this kind of brings me up onto another thing that, maybe Bungie's kind of changing their tunes on that because they made this single playlist for people in PvP. But that just kind of blows my mind because I thought the whole thing about Destiny was let's do things together. If you have mini games, it's very unlikely you're going to
Well,
be doing
unless there's
it
more than
together.
one mini game going on at one time, and like you were
Mhm.
saying, how the heists
Yeah.
work in GTA, like 3 guardians have to guard the other 3 guardians as they do 3 different types of mini
Yeah,
games.
that's what I'm saying. Doing it on something like a quest or in a strike, you have 3 people and you have to do something like that. But just doing it, random, let's open a door to get into the war sack kind of thing. I think that wouldn't. I think that wouldn't fly with a lot of people. But
You're right. It
doing
probably would
it
just be a
together,
swing.
yeah, it would just be, oh, again, we got to go and do this stupid, lockpick or whatever, But I mean, I could see it working, and especially if it was reward based. Of course, if it was in a quest, it would be the reward based would be getting to the end of the quest. I mean, maybe not going and playing a game against Raul, but who knows?
Oh man, Mystic Rose says maybe we would finally get to see the city, and I'm not sure what exactly she's referring to. But what if that's where you played whack-a-mole? Like, okay, it doesn't have room in the tower, but in the city with regular people, I could see there being an arcade down there. They've got some serious.
To be fair, that was probably my English going horrible. But Whack a Vandal would probably actually use your gun skill because it would be more of like a shooting range.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. I would play it. I would go there and play it. All right. Well, thank you all for your input. It's just something that's really been eating at me. Like it's come up a couple of times where I just think, man, I think that a mini game would be cool, and I wonder what those guys think of it. And none of you liked it.
I don't know. We had some
Which is
stipulations, is what it was. Nothing like too gimmicky or anything like that.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't really want to have to do that to play a mini game every time I open a door. It's
Yeah.
just I just feel like it's in so many other games that I enjoy it and on some level. Um, I believe it was Red Velvet J that said something about the matching of the code reading in Mass Effect. Something like that could be cool. I really dig the code reading in Mass Effect. That was a good time. Um, so thank you for your input. We are going to be moving on to Agrios. What do you have for us this week?
Well, this week, Bungie speaks to us about a new plan to communicate with the players via their new Twitch studio. Scott Kangelborg, yeah, and Jason Pate have been hard at work on this new experience. They wanted to make a space that was quick and easy to use, something they can set up super fast to handle bounties, special guest stars, and large reveal streams. And they say that they're committed to ensuring that their streams always feel like Twitch. It's not canned video, it's not memorized word for word scripts, and it's real and live just the way it should be. Bungie plans to put on a show of some variety once every week. Most streams will be casual hangouts, ride-alongs, Bungie bounties, that sort of thing. Some will be game reveals. They promise that they'll introduce you to the people who make your games and delve into their creative process. And when they have nothing new to say, they'll send Cosmo into a raid with special Bungie guests and a few Guardians who have never faced the final boss. It'll begin in March with a ride-along. The picture they have shows the Dreadnought and says maybe we'll even throw some studio leadership on the couch to talk more about that roadmap that they had discussed last week. So this is interesting. Once a week, that's a pretty ambitious broadcast schedule right off the bat. What do you guys think about this? I mean, any communication is great. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I think the community has been throwing out everything, saying that they wanted this. This is Bungie's answer to them. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be great, even if it's short lived, because if you'll recall back to one of their previous Twitch streams, like it was just the word vault for like a mile's worth of chat, a mile's worth of chat conversation. Just vault, people vault, and so I think that this is really awesome. I think that this is a great way to lead the community from the front, even if it's stuff like, that everybody, in the Twitch community, they're already going to be past all of this stuff, like the raid. They've already done it so many times, so many people are 319, 320, so this will be for the people who haven't yet got there, and I feel like by them showing up and just being there, it will be a face to this company, to this game, to this business, and it will be a great way for them to just be. I said this a couple of times previously. I hung out with Mr. Bach 3000. He was watching this podcast while he was playing Destiny. It was just really cool to kind of get to know him, just to hear him talk and watch him play this game. Same thing with Dan. Hopped into his stream. I just hopped into a stream just this last week, and it was just really cool. It was just really cool to see him interacting with the people that he was playing video games with, and it just gave me a much greater sense of being there. And I don't know. I don't know how they're going to keep it focused. I don't know how they're going to be able to say things that people want them to say, because it's going to be difficult. How do you take all of these people? Every time Bungie posts something, anytime any Bungie employee posts something, there's a line of people saying, "Fix your game. When's new content coming out?" Like, how do you take that negativity and keep pushing forward, especially at this point in the game where we're still a ways out from an update, where we're still a ways out. Like, I can't imagine they're going to be talking about Destiny 2 for a long, long time.
Yeah, but do you honestly think that, I mean, maybe I'm being naive here, but when Bungie bounties are going on and you go and look at the chat, everybody, even though it's been that way where there's lack of content and stuff, you're always going to get some troll, but not everybody's trolling. they're just enjoying that particular ride along, that particular bungee bounty and stuff like that. I think you're looking too negative on people and thinking that there are that many trolls out there that are just going to ruin it.
Here's
Because
the
I
thing.
think a lot of people are going to enjoy that.
Here's the thing. You spend a lot of time playing Destiny. I spend a lot of time on the internet. I don't play as much Destiny as you do. You can't be on the internet while you're playing Destiny. I've seen the face of the internet, and it's ugly. So you are you are being naive, but I hope you're right. I'm not saying that you should be wrong. I hope you're right.
Well, I think what you're describing is more the situation when they have the more major reveals, as to when they just happen to a bounty. The chat's a lot more tame than it is on, like, say, like a TTK reveal stream or something.
Okay, so then this is an excellent idea. Because just keeping a regular stream going, keeping a regular conversation, I think that's really important. And this week at Bungie, it does a lot for us, for the people who are searching for each crumb and each little bit of information. But for the average person who doesn't tune into that, who plays the game and is done with it, and they're not interested in looking any further, videos have always given people the ability to just sit back and intake information. Uh, Jez, what do you think about this?
Well, the Twitch streams are pretty bad, but I think that's just how people are. Like, they want to antagonize no matter what. But I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer, to be honest.
Got it.
Well, I want to know
It's a complex place.
how many different studios have a regular Twitch streaming schedule?
You know what I want to know?
I know of one.
Who's that?
Digital Extremes, the makers of Warframe, do like 2 or 3 streams every week.
2 or 3 streams every week with their developers and stuff like that?
Yeah. They
That's
do like
fantastic.
a dev roundtable one day, and then they play through on Xbox and play through on PlayStation.
And that's the only one you could think of?
A couple others
offhand.
do ones. I don't know how regularly they are, because I never paid attention to them. But I know, like, the guys from ESO, like, they host a fair number of streams, and like they have community reps do official streams for them on things for it and stuff. But I don't know how regular their streaming schedule is on those types of things.
Yeah, I see a lot of like temporary, hey, we're announcing something streams, but that's pretty much it.
I think this is going to be a great thing for the community and Bungie itself, as a good form of communication. And they're probably like super new to doing Twitch as a studio type of deal, especially if it's going to be on a regular schedule. But I can see this becoming something great with a lot of time. Did you guys look at the pictures? Did you guys see that T-Rex was in there?
The T-Rex? Oh, yeah.
You saw T-Rex? To me, that means they're consulting him as to, hey, what's the best way for us to kind of get something like this going in the studio?
Definitely.
That's what that means to me. So I really applaud them for kind of seeking out, the professionals, the guys who do this stuff every day, who are always streaming like 24 hours a day, and that's an exaggeration, of course. But trying to get, the best setup and the best way to do things as far as Twitch that they possibly can. And again, it's going to be great, especially with time, because they're just going to get better at Twitch streaming, at entertaining people as they go along, and coming up with different things to do over the next however many years. I really hope that they keep up with this weekly schedule.
I feel like because they said that they're going to keep it not canned chat, not memorized conversation. I've watched quite a few Destiny streamers and Destiny dev streamers, and just kind of getting a sense of their personality. It's really a lot of fun. Roxar, I watch her a lot. She's got a great stream. She's really good with the people in the chat. I just don't know how they're going to do it without, loose lips, sink ships, or quite a few of those.
Practice.
Quite a few of those.
But you also got to think of something, okay? Because not every single person that works at Bungie knows every single thing that's going on. In fact, Leif Johansson, who was the dev that I was talking about earlier, he was talking about this on the podcast I was listening to. He turned around and said, it's really funny because people will come up and ask him about PVE content, and he has no idea. He knows about the same as everybody else out in the community, and he doesn't even necessarily know when things are going to be released and whatnot. So he doesn't have an answer for people, and I think it's going to be like that with a lot of the people that are working at Bungie, and some of the people that are working there. I mean, they're like you have Bonnie, who is a top MLG player who now works at Bungie. Can you imagine having her on the Bungie stream doing some Destiny? I mean, people haven't really seen that. That I think people are going to be more in awe of meeting these people and seeing what they're doing, and especially if you get people that are like, I made this particular map. And go in there and they're playing PvP, and it's like, oh yeah, and you watch how they just rule on that map. I I don't know. I think that people are going to really, really take to that and enjoy that, and you don't even have to have anybody really talking, being like a data or somebody that's streaming all the time.
I'm really excited for the ones that sound like that, like a tips and tricks, or like they're doing challenge mode. That would be a lot of fun to watch, I think. Crimson Warlock, what do you think about this Twitch?
I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be definitely fun. It'll fun. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to get to know more members of the the Bungie team as well. Like you said, you jump in the streams of other people and you get to know them better. And I think having more frequent communication from Bungie through the streams will be a lot better for the community. I think. I also hope that um, other than the content that they're showing that day, I do kind of hope that Bungie drop some few cryptic hints now and then to spice things up, or make it something that it's not like the video version of This Week at Bungie. Just make it something worth going to, other than the event that's taking place. Just drop some news, drop some hints, talk to us about what's going on. Um, just I feel like that would open more communication. So I really hope that is something that we see out of it, is just more of them talking to us about what they want to do, or being open, talking about ideas, being like,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be cool, but we'll shelf that for now, or maybe we'll bring that up. Things like that would be fun to hear, that they'll actually seeing that they're taking feedback in ways. So hopefully that's what we'll get out of these streams.
Excellent. Agrios, final thoughts, and then moving on.
I think any communication is great. I'm looking forward to it. There is just it's interesting because there's just a little bit of a worry in the community when they renamed the weekly update to This Week at Bungie, implying potentially that we're going to see the update even less often now, because now it doesn't say weekly anymore. Which I mean that's a reasonable concern, I suppose. But then to turn around and say, well, you might not get that weekly, but we're going to give you this weekly. That's pretty amusing to me. So I'm really glad to see they're increasing the communication and not stepping back away from that.
Excellent and awesome.
Yeah. So next week, Saladin returns. Iron Banner Clash begins Tuesday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, and it ends Tuesday, March 1st at 1 a.m. Pacific. Lord Saladin will be bringing with him both the regular gauntlets and PlayStation gauntlets at rank 3. They can be, however, obtained as post-game drops at rank 2. At rank 4, Saladin will have the helmet, the PlayStation helmet, and the sniper rifle. And those will be available as drops at rank 3. And at rank 5, Saladin will have the rocket launcher, which will be available as a drop at rank 4. They say that the team might even deploy the new matchmaking settings that favor connection quality over skill, and that could result in fiercer competition, but that threat should be of no concern to a true champion of the Iron Lords. As noted in the update 2.1.1 patch notes, the following issues have been resolved. Players no longer need to return to orbit to receive the rank 5 package rewards. Lord Saladin will now display a waypoint when rank 3 and rank 5 packages are available, but it's in a very important note they have here. Players will lose their rank 3 packages if they are not retrieved before they play up to and reach rank 5. So make sure you pick up your rank 3 packages as soon as you can, and don't just keep playing through to rank 5. Now, this can be very important, especially in the last days of Iron Banner. It would be very easy on one of your extra characters to redeem some of those higher end packages and go straight from rank 2 to rank 5 without even realizing it. So be real careful not to just totally lose out on your rank 3 package.
Yeah, this was something that I when they first started doing this with the vendors, I remember a bunch of people saying, "Oh man, I ranked up 3 times and I've only got one package. What's up with this?" And they just missed out. They totally missed out. So be careful with that. Continuing.
So there has been a lot of discussion in the community as skill-based matchmaking versus control-based matchmaking has really been a hot topic lately. And yesterday, more changes were made. Effective immediately, new matchmaking settings are live in control. They say that we've taken additional steps to increase the emphasis on connection quality. Skill ratings will be less a factor in finding you a match. Lag will be even further diminished. Enjoying a game with your friends who are more/less skilled than you will be easier, but your opponents will be more random, so you will stand a better chance of getting your ass kicked, or vice versa. There is still some form of protection to insulate the casual players among us from the most hardcore, but those considerations will have much less impact on the technical quality of the matchup. They say that they've also extended the damage referee to govern the impact that poor connections have on matches in Clash, Rumble, and Freelance 3v3. It's also still live in control where it was originally deployed. This was further updated today to note that matchmaking tuning has been further revised to prioritize finding people who are close to your locality in the interest of further reducing lag. So, what do you guys think about the changes to the Crucible most recently, and the whole skill-based matchmaking versus control-based or connection-based matchmaking as a whole? Remy?
I think that they used to offer us um, 4 different options for connections. There was like, are you a talkative person? Do you want to go by who's closest to you? Things like this. And so I'm excited to see where they take this. I'm excited to see what they do with it, but I have not yet, or at least I don't think I have yet experienced this. Sharks?
It's going to be awesome because I won't have Agrios bitching and complaining that I'm bringing 2 high-skilled players playing against him.
Oh, come on now. I don't exactly bitch and complain about it.
Okay,
I
if you say so.
think it's going to be more interesting. A lot of people are much more accepting of this type of matchmaking compared to skill-based matchmaking, and it'll definitely let people play with each other. But I don't know. I don't know how really it's gonna work in the long run. I guess it depends on the distribution of bad to really good players.
River?
Oh, I'm just happy to sit down more fools, man. I'm good.
Crimson Warlock?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I'm just ready to try it and see how it goes. I'm not the greatest, but I do hope that I still feel like I'm against people that I can still kill.
Excellent. Agrios, and moving on.
I have not really had much issue with the way Destiny has done matchmaking thus far, just some of the issues that we've run into with lag. So as long as they correct the lag and I don't feel like I get stomped every match I go into because I'm an average player, then I will be happy with what they're doing. But if I don't notice that the lag's any better and I feel like skills out the window for matchmaking, then I'm not going to really be thrilled.
Got it. Got it.
On another technical note, not really related to the Crucible, this coming Saturday, February the 20th, the daily heroic story mission will not award players with legendary marks upon completion. They don't really give any explanation as to this or which mission that's going to be, but this is kind of a interesting or odd development. It makes me wonder if the story mission that's going to be the daily heroic this Saturday is somehow related to something interesting. So I'll definitely be kind of on the lookout for that. Do you guys think that this is because of a lead up to anything coming with the changes this spring, or it's kind of an odd bug to note?
But doesn't it have to do with the ghost shell? I thought it had to do with the ghost shell that they're dropping.
I didn't get that sense.
No, I didn't note anything about the ghost shell there. I didn't notice anything anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a little bit odd.
You're talking about the 320 ghost shell?
Yeah, I just assumed that that's why, but I don't know. I don't know why I assumed that.
Well, I don't. Well, it doesn't make sense to me only because people would be getting their ghost shells up to the 23rd. So if that was the case, it would affect also the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd. But I'm thinking, I didn't really think about maybe there was something special going on. I mean, what day is that? What day of the week is that?
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday,
It's the
February the
weekend.
20th, the daily heroic story mission will not award players with legendary marks upon completion. And I mean, the only thing we know
shouldn't
that's
be
going to
out
be
yet.
different than everything always has been is that supposedly this spring we're getting some sort of update raising the light levels, and that just makes me wonder if this story mission then has something to do with the changes that are going to be coming, because something happened to make us not get legendary marks all of a sudden from that mission.
Moving on.
Oh, no. I mean, it's an interesting theory, and I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. But it also tells me that they kind of know what missions are coming down the pipeline, and now I'm wondering how far ahead that they know this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It implicates them. Yeah, it does. It implicates a lot of like odd things to me.
Yeah, that's all. Now moving on.
So the movie of the week this week, Saving Matt Damon, is a play on Destiny and the Martian. It's like a little trailer type thing. You might want to check it out. And couple honorable mentions: the odd dedication. Someone actually pushed their way the whole way to level 40 using only mission 1.
Ugh.
Yeah.
What?
Odd dedication. Good
that's
title.
Terrible.
I thought for that.
That's terrible. Why would you do that?
Right? Why would you inflict that upon yourself?
Oh my gosh.
I will admit that I am a person who will play the first level of a game a couple times to get myself to level 2 or level 3, but afterwards, after level 2 or level 3, I think to myself, I really just need to move on. I can take these next levels of dudes, but I mean, this is what half of the Guinness Book of World Records is filled up with. Is people who are like, oh, I bet I could get to level 40 with just this first mission, and look he did it.
Jeez, and he got an emblem. Congratulations.
I mean, he's still not going to surpass in, I guess, Sisyphus-ness.
Oh yeah,
Sisyphus. Yeah, of the pacifist warrior in World of Warcraft at level 2 max level, not killing anything.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool.
Like all fetch quests and exploring.
Well, maybe we'll see this guy again whenever we hit year 10. He can do mission 1 over and over again.
Right, and that would be hilarious.
That would not be hilarious. I'd feel so bad.
I liked the first. I liked the first video. It was cool. But this last video, in my opinion, is what should have gotten the movie of the week.
Great, yeah.
Am I to understand that what I'm seeing here is one person throwing a grenade and then another person throwing a grenade to stick to that grenade and then both of them bouncing around the room?
Okay, if I understand correctly what's going on here, I might be mistaken. I only watched this through once, but a lot of people don't realize that every object you see in this game is physical, and most of them can be shot. Like the little bolts from the Axiom bolt and such like that can all be shot. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody stuck a lightning grenade on an Axiom bolt seeker.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too. That's crazy. So what you see is this column of lightning rotating and following the seeker. This is excellent. This is excellent.
And the funny part is that the seeker didn't end up killing him because that would have blown up the lightning grenade and everything. The seeker driving around this lightning grenade killed the dude with the lightning grenade.
Yeah.
And then just kept bouncing around the room, dragging this lightning grenade, shooting it everywhere. It's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. That definitely should have won. Like the Martian one was cool. The movie was excellent.
Yes.
I think that comes down to like the time and effort put in. Someone put a lot of time and effort to make that Martian cool, whereas this is just a clip someone hit save on and really Bungie did all the work
that makes
there.
Sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. And he gets an emblem too, so that's definitely cool. Continuing.
Oh, so that wraps up most of the weekly update. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about important this week?
Gathalion and his crew got into the Guinness Book of World Records. Did you guys talk about that?
Oh no, that is cool.
Yeah, for
I
being the first
wasn't
to do
even
the
aware
strike.
of that.
I mean, not the strike, for being the first
for the
to
King's
complete
Fall.
the Taken King raid. They're in the book, man. They made it.
Yeah, that's super sweet. And like I don't want to say that I'm jealous of that because that seems like a ton of pressure trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. But I will say that I'm jealous of the fact that they went through and they did it blind with each other. Like that's something that I'm really looking forward to in the years of Destiny to come. I will be able to at some point put in an insane amount of hours to make this happen with people who I've called friend for a long time. So that's what I'm most jealous of. The Guinness Book of World Records would be a really cool bonus, but just being able to have the time to sit down and figure these things out. I just recently finished King's Fall thanks to K-Dub and Mark and a bunch of other people, Strider, Salt Queen.
Wait, that was your first time?
Yeah,
hey,
that was my first time.
Welcome to the rest of us.
But it's like when they explained to me where I'd be going and what I'd be doing and what was going to happen. It's crazy to think about that this was set up and they didn't know what was happening ahead of time. That's exciting. That's what I'm jealous of. Is the trial and error there? So I'm really looking forward to that. That's really awesome. But congratulations.
So I don't want to
to
say
them.
anything, but I find it's weird that there's Courtesan and there's also this one, King's Fall, but nothing on Vault of Glass.
You mean in the book?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, those the people who did have to ask to be put in the book?
Somebody's
it's just weird that they came in at the same time. Like both the other two were in the Guinness Book at the same time.
Crazy.
Well, they got to submit it somehow. I mean, it's not like they look all around the world and be like, "Oh, hey, we found a world record." They have to. It has to be.
They
submitted.
should.
So maybe that's what happened.
It's quite possible that's it, but I don't know. Weird timing.
All right, Agrios, hit us with the bonus news.
Okay, so Mass Effect Andromeda's lead writer has left BioWare and taken a job at Bungie.
Yeah.
And so that's we lost Joe Staten a while ago. He was a former lead writer, at Bungie, and it seems now they're beefing up their writing team. Do you think they're doing this for Destiny 2, or do you think Destiny 2 is already written and this is for Destiny 3?
I think
I
the
hope
whole
it's written
thing.
already.
I think the whole thing is written already. I think that beyond a few really meaty details, I think that the people at the head of this train know what's going to happen when the series wraps up at the end. You know, like if it turns out that the Traveler is evil, and
Do
and
you
we're gonna
think the whole thing is written?
yeah, but I don't think that it's fleshed out. I think that they
Okay.
know what the skeleton is, but as
Gotcha.
far as like your daily interactions, like I don't think that they have everything written for Zavala. Like I think that this is there was also another writer that left shortly after Destiny launched, and I wish I could remember his name. I follow him on Twitter. He's a really cool guy. I wish I could remember his name, but
Paul
yeah,
Cassie.
no, he writes
Yeah.
he writes for Forbes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys know.
Was
You guys
it
know
John
that the
John
shit's
Ryan?
gonna hit the
Is that
fan if. Oh, go on, Crimson.
I was just gonna say, was that John Ryan? Is that the guy you're thinking of?
No, but that's a good example. I think I think his name was like Dave Mongan, but I could just be making that up.
I'm just thinking. You guys know that the shit's gonna hit the fan if it's not written already, and we have the same thing happen with Destiny 2 that happened with Destiny 1, which would be why they are quote unquote delaying Destiny 2. I mean, people would be so mad if that happened. I hope that they have already gotten their act together and written it, and they're just bringing these people in for extra stuff
like I'm
because they didn't have that, like when they brought in the girl that did the heiress stuff. They added that later on. I could see them doing that into Destiny 2, but they better have the main story already done.
like I feel like they have a very 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 good idea of how it's all going to resolve. And I'm happy that they're bringing on talented people. I didn't really like Halo 4 at all, so that's not a very good milestone with which to judge this person on. But I think it's cool that they're bringing these people in. What I don't like is seeing comments of people like, "Oh, well, finally Destiny's going to have a story." What are you talking about, dude? Destiny already has a story. Did they find the perfect, most awesome way to convey that story, to tell that story? No, there was still a lot of room for them to grow as far as storytelling, as far as how to get that information into people's hands. So I'm happy that this person is joining. Like anybody, if Bungie wants them, then they have to have some kind of worth there, and I'm looking forward to it. Anybody else on this? Moving on.
I think my favorite comment that I made on it was, "Hey, Guy X left Game A to work on Game B. That must make me think Game A is in trouble."
Aw.
That's funny
Is
and
that
sad.
that's what everyone says. It's pretty much quote for quote, obviously replacing the variables, what people say.
Yeah, you're right. Once Staten left, people are like, "Oh, it's in trouble."
It's ridiculous. Well, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the expansion that's coming out later this year is pretty much done as far as the story. Destiny 2, I think, is probably pretty much written out. Could use a little bit of tweaks here and there, but I think everything you're gonna see has already been done. As far as any expansions after that, perhaps this guy will probably have a hand in that, kind of adding to. And I'm kind of with you, Remy. I think maybe the overarching story is probably already written out as well for the rest of the series. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of meaty bits we get. I'm pretty excited for it.
Right? How are we going to get from here to there? That's what I think that they're bringing in people for. Like, if the Traveler is evil, if it's going to turn out that the Traveler is evil, and we have to fight it, or some fill in the blank like that, then that's already like that's part of this arc. That's what they're leading us up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they did a really great job with um, getting a better feel for like Cade and Eris and Zavala. and Ikora. Like, I think that was really important, seeing them talk to each other. I can't wait to see more interactions with the speaker and these other people. I feel like, does Zavala have disdain for the speaker? I feel like he would. Like, does Shaxx not put up with anyone's shit? I feel like he doesn't. Like, I want to see more of this, and I'm hoping that this is the things that we're seeing, because I feel that the overall story is already in there. But
So,
really,
what you're saying is Bungie's painted the broad strokes. Chris Schliff is here to paint in little happy trees.
absolutely, absolutely, and I think that if I was a writer and my job was as a writer, I think that this would be great. For me, parameters are excellent. I love having parameters, because it forces me to be creative. It forces me to problem solve. And so I'm hoping that that's what this is. Like, there's anyone who's saying, like, oh, finally, Destiny's not in trouble anymore. Like, I don't think you understand how this all works. To imagine that Jason Jones has been working on this for this long and he has no idea where the story is going.
Please.
Right, right. So, continuing.
Go.
Destiny Mega Blocks have been announced this week. So
this never made sense to me. Like, the Halo Mega Blocks, come on. This is an rated M for mature game,
Which shouldn't
Destiny
have
Mega
been.
Blocks. And so they
Shark is
shouldn't.
going to buy all these.
Of course, I probably will too. And it makes only the slightest bit more sense for a T for teen game. Mega Blocks are rated like what, 3 and up?
You're probably thinking
Hey,
of
I'm up.
big ones, man. Come on.
See,
Yeah, we're all up.
I thought you were gonna say this doesn't make sense. Should have been Lego.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
No, a
please,
lot of people are
no.
saying that too.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
will agree with that. That's not what I was saying, but I will agree with that.
No, because like it's been said before, Activision's probably got a contract
Yeah,
with Mega
they
Bloks
do,
previously.
definitely.
So, yeah,
Well,
Mega
I
Bloks
think
it is.
I think hopefully this paves the way for actually action figures instead of
Statues.
instead of having to either pay for the Mega Blocks 2D or not 2D, like 2 pixel character, you can instead buy that $200 one, but there's
I
nothing
can't
in
afford
between.
that. I want it so
Yes.
bad, but $200 is a lot
Take
for
out a
one
loan.
figure.
Take out
Yeah.
a loan. You'll be good.
Hey,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a hunter, so
Whack a
Credit card
vandal.
it.
Well, they still haven't gotten the Titan released yet either.
you mean the Warlock?
No, the Titan has not been shipped and released yet.
Oh, so it was still in pre-orders.
Yeah, it's still pre-orders.
That's crazy.
It's funny because they barely mentioned, hey, we also have a Warlock.
Ah.
Uh,
It's funny too is that Titan that's like still in pre-order like only has year 1 weapons, so like he's not gonna be able to do anything. He's got like a
Well,
zombie apocalypse and like
hey, at
a
least he
hawk.
does have hammers.
Right.
Does he have hammers? And he's got Hawk Moon. That's not bad.
Yeah,
You know?
hammers and Hawkmoon.
Yeah, he
Hawkmoon's
got
easy
that.
too.
But he has a
Isn't
zombie apocalypse, which is like a 160 value weapon.
Continuing.
So there's a new calendar heat map tool thingy, as the creator put it, available online. Somebody
Eloquent.
just made this in their spare time, but it's a pretty awesome tool. It will show your entire Destiny playtime in like a heat map form. Like the days will be darker the more you played on them, and you can actually hover over every day, and it'll tell you how many hours you played each of those days. And it's just a neat way to view your time with Destiny. So I encourage everyone to check that out. We most of the people here on the show have all done their heat maps. And what do you guys think about this tool? Did you have any revelations about looking at your time with Destiny?
Little warning: it doesn't show your deleted characters.
Correct. Does not show deleted characters.
So I've got like very faint for like the first year of Destiny, and then for some reason on the 17th I played for 21 hours.
I have a
Man,
24-hour block. I don't know why.
that makes so much more sense. I looked up my dad's heat block, and it says that he didn't play like for the entirety of the first like 8 months of Destiny, and I thought, well, this is wrong. This is totally wrong because I know that he played that, but recently he's just been restarting characters. I don't know why. He's really interested in the 1 to 20 grind and then leveling up his like he needs to have right. He needs to have some kind of additional goal to seek, and it just I don't know to think about all that time that he's just basically thrown away in the factions, and I hope that he took everything off of his characters. Like that would be that would be horrible.
Atrocious.
It works for Diablo 3 seasons.
Well, congratulations to them.
So yeah, you know what? I wish I had brought this up. This is probably on my other set of notes. I have 2 sets of notes for each show that's coming up, and so I meant to have this. I will bring these visualizations up for next week,
Okay.
and we will go over them then. Anyone else on these heat maps, or moving on?
Well, that's about all I have as far as like new and interesting things this week. As always, I have a massive collection of SGAs that I can get into at any point you like. But does anybody else have anything important pertinent to this week that you'd like to discuss?
Additionally, does River have anything that he'd like to bring up?
Yes, because he's never here.
Pertinent to this week. I'm trying to remember. It's really funny because whenever
you missed River, there's been a lot of subjects you haven't been here to comment on. Is there something
yeah,
important?
well, I know because whenever I'm driving on my way to work and I'm listening to the podcast, I'm always like, "Yes, Remy, we know," or "No, Agrios, I completely disagree," or that kind of stuff, and it kind of sucks that I'm just not there to kind of comment on it. But now that I'm home and I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
Totally.
I say we were talking about, but I want to see.
You know what? That would be funny if
Yeah.
you recorded yourself listening to the podcast. So, like, if you wanted to make a point, you could just pause it and then talk. I would listen. I would listen to that podcast.
And I thought about doing something like that. I just don't have the gear to make that happen just yet. So
got it.
Maybe one of these days I could put out a little tube on the Guardian 1 YouTube channel or something.
It has to involve dancing.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say make sure there's some dancing in there.
Yeah, I might put some dancing in there.
Okay, so why don't we just get to some shout outs and get going? What do you guys think about that? Yeah?
That's good.
Awesome. Shout outs starting with you, Sharks.
Okay, I actually have 2 shout outs this week. My first shout out is kind of random. I'm shouting out to Tortags, who is the guy that started being a dick to me in message form with you. But the reason I'm shouting out to him is because he came to his senses and apologized. My second shout out is to my wife, Guru Fu, for putting up with my crazy antics while playing Crimson Doubles. I was getting too serious.
I like it. I like it a lot. Agrios.
I want to give a shout out. I'll give 2 too. I want to give a shout out to K-Dub, whose birthday it was today, doing a great job on Guardian Radio, and a shout out to my cat Gohan, whose birthday started at midnight.
Wait, what's his name? Gohan?
Gohan, yes.
Oh, that is so awesome.
He has the same personality too. Like he's normally really nice and stuff, but if you take him off, he goes Super Saiyan. And
does he know how to dodge?
Oh, really good actually. Like he's an undernourished male, so he's kind of aggressive. And when he was younger, first coming of age, he was really sensitive to certain things. And if he got pushed over the edge, he was like full out fluffy attack cat. Well, like I was trying to get him to like go in the other room where I could like barricade him in. So like the one time I tossed like a throw pillow across the living room at him to get him to like just go away. And he like, as soon as I went to do it, he like arched up and he saw it coming. He like jumped up midair, like 10 Tasmanian and doubled it and like landed ninja style. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go upstairs for now.
Well done.
Fine, you can have the downstairs cat. Excellent. Jez.
I never have a good one. Shout out to Iron Man. Congrats at your flying skills. I
You know,
At least give a shout out to Deadpool. Come on, Jez.
I don't have Deadpool unlocked yet. There's
or
like
at least
it's like
Eris.
196 characters, and the only character that I don't have, I think, is Deadpool that I know of. Like I have uh Fing Fan Foom unlocked. I don't have Deadpool. It's annoying.
That's funny.
I have 2 versions of Squirrel Girl. Although Squirrel Girl's pretty awesome. But no Deadpool.
Crimson Warlock.
I'm going to shout out to my friend, Amazing Plankton, mostly because he puts up with a lot of my gaming talk when I think he'd rather just have me shut up. He, he's a good listener. He's a good friend of mine, and shout out to him for just being a good pal and being there.
Awesome. River.
All right. First one I got is for my wife. She surprised me with the Xbox Elite controller for Valentine's Day.
Cool.
Oh man, she is so amazing. I love this thing too, and we'll probably talk about that again later
Looking
or
forward
some
to
other
it.
time. But also SDF Lawn Boy and SDF Creamy, they have both picked up the Taken King. So my refer friend is active, and I'm going to be showing these guys around once again. I'm super excited about it.
That's excellent. Yeah, Lawn Boy was in the chat earlier, and he said that the changes to Destiny in the Taken King are amazing. Like he was really impressed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they split,
Yeah.
so that says
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. So yeah, definitely looking forward to talking about that Xbox controller too. Awesome. My shout out is to River, who painstakingly edits and encodes the audio you hear through iTunes and RSS feeds of the Guardian One podcast. You make this happen, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, hey, thank you. It's pretty tough sometimes.
I know.
Yeah, I was listening to 72 today, and I'm like, man, this sounds a lot better than that YouTube version that I was listening to trying to edit. Like I had to take out a lot of stuff. So
Right.
I'm glad it's sounding great for everybody out there.
Yeah, it sounds great, and you really make it look professional. The way this audio comes out. Like sometimes it's great. Sometimes I can listen to the entire thing of YouTube and not have any problems, and other times it's really horrible. But you make it happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That wraps up episode 73. I would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or suggestions for topics to be discussed on the show, please leave them in the comments below or send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week.